video is everybody's favorite time of the month. TBR jar time. Hello everybody, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name's Katie. I love talking about books and that's exactly what we're going to be doing today. And you guys know the drill by now with my TBR videos that I post every single month. I'm going to be choosing prompts out of my TBR jar to choose books that are going to be on my monthly TBR. And this time for the month of April, and that means spring is officially here. It's in the air, it's getting warmer, and that also means we are like this much closer to summer reading, and I love reading in the summer. Summer books are some of my favorite books. They're so atmospheric and fun, but we're still gonna appreciate spring while it's here. And since I do these videos every single month, I like to do a few little housekeeping things because it's a nice consistent checkpoint we can have monthly together. And one of those things I like to do is talk about new releases. So here are all the books that are on my radar for April. The first one is The Bookish by Meg Schaefer. This is coming out on April 7th. I read The Wishing Game by her last year and I absolutely loved it. It was just so cozy, sweet, and heartwarming. So I'm really hoping that The Bookish has a similar vibe, because if it does, I think I could really enjoy it. This is following our main character, Rainy, and she's a book witch. Who would have thought? And she jumps in and out of books to fix things, but there's like specific rules that you have to follow if you're a book witch, and if you don't follow them, it could be like kind of catastrophic. And Rainy ends up getting caught up in one of those situations, which is to not fall in love with a fictional character. So I don't know, this one just sounds very sweet and heartwarming. I feel like it's a nice spring read, and I also absolutely love books about witches, so this is really high on my radar. Also on April 7th, we have The Rites of the Starling by Devney Perry. This is the second book in her Shields of Sparrow series. I haven't read the first one, but I really want to. I've heard really great things about it. It's a slow burn, high stakes romantasy. There's enemies to lovers, monsters, a forgotten princess. It sounds really fun and fast paced. And also, I don't think I've read anything by Devney Perry actually, but I know she formerly mainly just wrote romance. So I'm interested to see what I would think when I eventually get to this book of her fantasy writing. Coming out on April 14th is Happy Ending by Chloe Leese. This cover just looks so fun and summery. And this is described as a heartwarming rom-com, and it says that it's about two best friends who must fake a relationship for their exes. I love fake dating, so I feel like this is gonna be right up my alley. Just seems like something fun. Also on April 14th, we have The Thorn Queen. This is by Sasha Payton Smith. This is a YA fantasy series and another one that I have yet to start, but I really want to. I've been kind of waiting recently until more books are out in series, or all the books are out, to start them, because I've really been liking reading them more closely together, or only focusing on a few series at a time, because I feel like I get more out of the books that way and I'm just more invested. This is set in London though, in the Regency era, and it seems like there's like a competition. So there's trials, classic fantasy book stuff, there's fae. It just seems like a really fun YA fantasy. And then the last book on my radar for the month of April is The Island Club by Nicola Harrison. This is coming out on the 28th of April. This is a historical fiction set in the 1960s, and it's following these three different women who all seem to be coming together while their lives are crumbling. I love reading about women's stories, and I also love historical fiction, so I feel like I'm really gonna enjoy this. And it's literally called The Island Club, and the cover itself just looks so fun and summery, so I feel like this is going to be a fun one to pick up this summer. Those are all the April new releases that I'm personally excited about. As always though, if you guys have any that you're excited about, be sure to leave them in the comments down below so we can all be in the know together. Now obviously for today's TBR, as you can see, I have so many lovely books on my TBR cart behind me that I can choose from, but you guys also know I love reading on my Kindle, so we are gonna choose some books for my Kindle TBR as well. Normally I just put like 8 on screen. I don't really talk about them too much, but honestly, putting 8 is a little bit overwhelming, and I, to be completely frank, forget what books are on it sometimes. So from here on out, I think I'm gonna start choosing 4 to 6 books and then briefly going over them in my TBR videos. The first one is Keeping 13 by Chloe Walsh. This is the second book in the Boys of Tommen series, and also like the second book in like a mini duology that is about Johnny and Shannon, because they're all like interconnected books, and there's like 2 to 1 book about each couple. I don't know why I said 2 to 1. It should be 1 to 2, but you know what I meant. And I read Binding 13 last year in January, so it's been over a year now, and I feel like I at least need to finish that like mini duology within the series, and hopefully that will give me more momentum to continue the series overall sometime this year. We also have the next book in the M.M. Lion series. You guys know I have not shut up about this series ever since I found it last year. I love it so much, so I would love for that to be chosen, obviously. Next week, Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan. I have heard nothing but amazing amazing things about this series and her writing, and I've never read anything by her before, so I'm really intrigued to see what I would think. And I also wouldn't mind starting a new interconnected romance series because I just recently finished one. And then my fourth and final option for April is going to be Best Offer Wins. I have had this on hold for so long on Libby, and I've just been waiting for the perfect time to read it, and I figured we could just go ahead and include it in today's video. Now for my audiobook TBR, the first book, Project Hail Mary. I need to listen to this stat. I've heard nothing but amazing things about this book, but I also want to go see the movie. But I want to read the book before going to see the movie, and I've heard amazing things about the audiobook specifically, so I'm like really hopeful this gets picked up for April. I also have Alison Stoner's memoir on hold on Libby. I've been wanting to listen to this one for quite a while. And then the last two are from Libro FM. First we have Lake Effect by Cynthia Dupree Sweeney. This is a historical fiction set in the 70s. I love the 70s in general, but it also has like family drama, and it just seems really interesting. This just came out last month. And then my last option for audiobooks is Little One. This is about a young woman who reinvents herself after spending so many of her formative years in a cult. And I've just always enjoyed reading stories about cults because I feel like they are just so compelling and intriguing, so that is also on my audiobook TBR. I also always keep a few things in mind whenever choosing my monthly TBRs, one of them being my yearly TBR. I haven't filled it out yet. There will be a video coming soon where I update my reading journal, but I've currently read 6 out of 15 from my 2026 TBR, which I feel good about, but I would like to get maybe like 1 or 2 on my monthly TBR for April, just so I can keep that good momentum going. I also like to keep the series I'm reading in mind as well, and last month, guys, I finished 2 series. And I'm honestly proud of myself for that, and I'm currently only in the middle of 6 series right now. They're all, for the most part, pretty different. Well, maybe not totally. There's 4 fantasy, 1 historical fiction, and then 1 like interconnected romance series. I guess I am reading an interconnected romance series. Why did I forget? And that is one of the reasons why I really don't like reading a ton of series at once. So we're gonna try and focus on that, see if we can get another series either finished or trekking along. I don't know what I'm saying. As for books on my cart that I'm currently in the mood for, I would love to finish what is currently out of the Legendborn cycle. This is the 3rd book in the series, Oathbound by Tracy Deonn. I have really enjoyed the first 2 books. I'm excited to dive back into this world, even though this is a chonker. I have been reading some big books recently. Like, I don't know where this is coming from or what's gotten into me. So I am a little bit intimidated to read another big book, but maybe I can just put this off until the end of April if it ends up getting on my TBR. Also, I feel like April is purple. This book is purple. Like, I feel like it matches the vibe. I also would really like to continue the Ember and the Ashes series. I read the first one in December and I did enjoy it, but I'm really intrigued to see where the story's gonna go from there, and I feel like that's like my next series I really want to focus on, besides Legendborn, obviously, since I only have 1 book left in that series. And obviously there's not just gonna be fantasy books on this TBR, but I guess that's just what I'm in the mood for right now. Now, before I really go ahead and dive on into the jar, I have to do the first pick of the month, which is of course chosen by you guys. I started doing this at the beginning of the year, but I've been posting a story on my Instagram and asking you guys what book off of my TBR cart you want me to read. And this month, you guys ended up choosing The Women by Kristen Hanna. I'm terrified, okay? Every book that I've read so far by Kristen Hanna has been a 5 stars, but it's a 5-star in a way that like it emotionally ruins me, you know? And sometimes I'm just not always in the mood for that, and that's why her books intimidate me so much. I'm really interested to see what I'm gonna think of this. This is a historical fiction set during the Vietnam War. This is said to be an intimate portrait of coming of age in a dangerous time and an epic tale of a nation divided. I feel like I always just get so much out of her books too, and I'm really glad that you guys ended up choosing this. So this is going to be the first book on the TBR for the month of April. Now let's actually start in on the prompts. A book with magic, okay? Now there are obviously quite a few books with magic on the cart, but like I already said, I want to read Oathbound, so I'm gonna choose Oathbound. We're not gonna dilly-dally around and act like there's another choice for this prompt for me right now. I'm so incredibly excited to finish this series. This is following our main character, Bree. It's an urban fantasy, and at the beginning of the series, she's going through a lot. She recently lost her mom, so she's grieving that loss, and she's starting at this early college program at the University of North Carolina. She ends up being at the wrong place at the wrong time and figuring out some information that she shouldn't know, which gets her involved in like this secret society thing, and there's just like a lot to to it. And the second book takes you on a whole nother journey where Bree's just learning a lot about herself, and there's so many things that she doesn't know that people are hiding from her, which is kind of like a weird dynamic, but also cool because you're figuring out so many things while she's figuring them out. And I just want to know more. The way the second one left off too was kind of crazy, so I'm really glad that this one is going to be on my April TBR. So Oathbound by Tracy Deonn is going to be the second book on my TBR for April. Let's go ahead and pick the next prompt. I can never open these with one hand. My 2026 TBR. Okay, I love getting this prompt because I feel like it's a very productive prompt, keeping me on track with my yearly TBR. I currently have 8 options to choose from on my yearly TBR. We have Bare Bones in the Midnight Soil, Yellowface, Turtles All the Way Down, Mistborn, Percy Jackson, and The Lightning Thief, Lovely War, Sorcery of Thorns, and When the Crows Away. I'm gonna say no to Bury Our Bones for this prompt at least, just because I already have a fantasy book that's quite large on the TBR. Same with Mistborn, Lovely War, Sorcery of Thorns, and Percy Jackson. I don't want to start a new series or really read any other fantasy right now that's going to distract me from choosing to continue a series that I'm currently reading. Looking at my list, I feel like I'm down to 2 really great options, which are Turtles All the Way Down by John Green and Yellowface by R.F. Kuang. Turtles All the Way Down, my friend Brooke bought for me last year, I think, for my birthday. This is YA. I honestly don't really know too much about it, but I know there is OCD representation, which I feel like would be very informative and important to read about. It also seems like there's like a little bit of mystery involved. Seems like a nice quick read. It honestly might be nice to read this one considering I have such a big book on my TBR already, and I've already been overwhelmed by reading a lot of books recently that are very large, as well as having one that I know that's going to emotionally wreck me on the TBR already. And then we also have Yellowface by R.F. Kuang. I've been wanting to read a book by her for so long now, but I feel like for this specific TBR, Turtles All the Way Down just fits better with the books that I already have. It's also just so short too. It's going to be like a nice quick YA read, so I think I'm going to go ahead and choose Turtles All the Way Down by John Green for the third book on my TBR for this month. Let's go ahead and choose a prompt for book 4. Okay, I got Next of Kin. I actually, at the beginning of the year, added some books that I know had been on my TBR for a little bit. Well, maybe not a little bit. Quite a bit of time, and I know Next of Kin by Hannah Bonham Young has been on my TBR for over a year. I've read Out on a Limb and Out of the Woods by her, and I really like her writing. Her romances are always very sweet and meaningful, but it has like a fun little rom-com-y energy to break up the tension of the more serious moments. So I really do like her writing, but I don't know why I haven't gravitated towards this since I've had it on my TBR for quite some time. And I know it's going to be something that I enjoy. It's around 330-ish pages, so it's nice and short, and I'm hoping that it also means that it's sweet. So the next book on my TBR for the month of April is going to be Next of Kin by Hannah Bonham Young. Currently looking down at what we got on my April TBR so far, I feel good about it. I feel like it's very well rounded. Honestly, adding Turtles All the Way Down and Next of Kin made me feel a little bit better, because starting the TBR out with a book that I know is going to make me sob my eyes out, and also a book that is over 500 pages long, is a little intimidating, but I feel really great about it now. I honestly think I could pick almost anything else and feel good about it. So let's go ahead and pick my next prompt. Okay, a book off of my Kindle library. This is always a win for me. I'll put all 4 of the books that I have to choose from up here on screen again, but I think I'm between the next M&M Lion, because you guys know I've been loving that series and I want to continue it and eventually finish it, or Best Offer Wins. I just feel like I need something fast-paced and fun, and from what I've heard, Best Offer Wins is exactly that, and I honestly think I'm gonna choose Best Offer Wins. I really don't read a lot of mystery books because I feel like I get intimidated and I think they're too scary for me, but I honestly think I can handle them. I just have to give them more of a chance, and I want to broaden my horizons in the mystery genre, so I think that reading this one would be a good place to keep myself going on strong in that journey. And honestly, I'll probably just read the next book in the M&M Lion series anyways without it being on my TBR, so I'm gonna choose Best Offer Wins. I really don't know a ton about this because I feel like mysteries are a great genre to go in blind to, but this is by Marissa Kashino. But from what I do know, it's about our female main character, and she becomes like obsessed with this house, and she will do absolutely anything to get this house. And it honestly seems a little bit outrageous and like silly and fun in a mysterious way. So I don't know, I'm excited for it, and I'm hopeful that I'm going to enjoy it. So Best Offer Wins by Marissa Kashino is going to be the 5th book on my TBR for April. You guys know I normally pick 6 books for each monthly TBR, so let's go ahead and pick the last prompt. a lit fic, okay? This is perfect because currently there's not any literary fiction on the TBR yet, and I feel like that would just be a great way to round things out. I've honestly been going through a big literary fiction phase, so I'm really excited that this one got chosen. But because I've been going through a big lit fic phase, there aren't that many on the cart anymore because I've been reading them. But we still do have a few options. The first one is A Good Animal by Sarah Moorer, as well as Yellowface, which we've already talked about in this video, and then also I Cheerfully Refuse. For some reason, out of all three of these, Yellowface just isn't sticking out to me right now, and I feel like that means it's just not the time for me to read it. So I'm gonna put this back for now, and we're gonna focus on these two. Now, A Good Animal, I do want to read. It is about this boy who works on a farm in a small town, and he ends up meeting this girl and falling in love with her, but she has big dreams, and then there's like a scandal or a secret something or another that ends up happening. And then I Cheerfully Refuse. Luke actually chose this book for me recently because we went to Barnes & Noble and did a little book swap for Valentine's Day. I know it's in one of the videos that I posted. I think it's in like a weekend vlog or something, but he saw that Chris and Anna has a blurb on it, and she says, "My favorite novel of the year, heartbreaking, frighteningly prophetic, and defiantly hopeful." And because he chose it for me, I honestly don't know too much about it, but it's set in the not too distant future of America, which is ruled by climate change and societal collapse. And our main character, Rainey, who is a pursued musician, sets sail across Lake Superior in search of his wife, who was a bookseller. It says it's a harrowing nautical tale buoyed by beauty and unexpected kindness, a symphony against despair and a rallying cry for the future. The Washington Post said it was the sweetest apocalyptic novel yet. I really don't know what to expect. I've never read anything by him, and I think that's why it makes me more curious and makes me want to choose this over A Good Animal, even though I also do want to read A Good Animal. But all in good time. Like, I'm eventually gonna get to like all these books that I want to read on here. So I think I Cheerfully Refuse is going to be the sixth and final book on my April TBR. I'm feeling good about this month. Let's go ahead and do an April TBR recap. First off, we have your guys' pick of the month, which is The Women by Chris and Hannah. The first prompt that I chose was A Book with Magic, and I chose Oathbound by Tracy Dion, the third book in the Legendborn series. Then I had to choose a book off of my 2026 TBR, and I chose Turtles All the Way Down by John Green. After that, I chose a prompt with a specific book on it, Next of Kin. So I'm adding Next of Kin by Hannah Bonham Young to the TBR. Then I had to choose a book off of my Kindle library. I chose Best Offer Wins by Marissa Kashino. And for my final prompt, I had to choose a literary fiction book, and I chose I Cheerfully Refuse by Leaf Anger. And there we have it. Here is my April TBR. I'm very excited about April. I feel like there's a good mixture of books on here. I'm a little bit nervous for, you know, no book in particular, but I do feel like this TBR is going to set me up for a good month of reading in April. If you guys have any thoughts on these books, want to see them in reading vlogs, anything like that, let me know in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like and subscribe, and if you watch until this far in the video, comment down below the sailboat emoji so I know who the real ones are who watched until the very end. And with that, I hope you guys are all having an amazing day. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you guys in my next video coming real soon. Bye guys. My foot's asleep. My. Okay. I need to blow my nose. Gross. Oh, okay. Where the heck did the prompt go? Peace.